Hey guys, so let me get this going here. Things I'm looking at this morning start with the Russell right here. We're into a resistance area. As long as we stay about below these higher, these recent highs, this could very well be catch up in today's session. They are taking money out of the Nasdaq and the S&Ps ahead of CPI, and still holding up the Russell for CPI. They're expecting, because of the commodities being so much cheaper the past month, that CPI is going to be coming in light, and that's why I think you're keeping a bid under the Russell this morning. So let's definitely keep this one on watch. Um, if we get a sell signal, I would prefer taking this. I would like this to the short side if we get the trigger. But we'll see what happens on that. Go over to the ESs real quick here. I'm using some new software, so I don't want to overdo it here. So we're getting a technical 5 SMA back test. It could be just they may just maybe they wanted to take her down here just for another attempted rally here. The bigger time frame is all bullish, so be mindful of that. Okay. With that being said, this is monthly channel high. This is a critical monthly channel high, scenario going on here on the ESs. So I'm definitely keeping that one on watch. The 20 SMA is down here. It kind of lines up with this down here to finish out at Head and Shoulders. So the 20 SMA is lining up pretty well here with this low consolidation area. So I'm kind of leaning to think that's what they're going to do here as a Head and Shoulders setting up here, and this channel represents last week's anchored VWAP trend. So now this right here is last week's anchored VWAP right here. So that's kind of what's playing out here. Okay, and heads up on that. Anything else I can say? Uh, so far today we're below our monthly VWAP or weekly VWAP, regular VWAP, below our daily central pivot range, and we're currently trading below the weekly central pivot range high, CPR high. But we are still holding above, so this is slightly more bullish on the week at the moment. Okay, and then market webs. Other things I'm looking at here. So kind of looks like we got a pivot here, right here where this channel high is. It looks like this is a pivot area that we are currently back testing. So heads up on that. So basically what we're trying to do, so we want to wait until we break out day lows if we want to go short. We don't really want to, because this is potentially a pivot. And then, remember, your next, like I said, if this is a Head and Shoulders, you're targeting the 20 SMA. So, you're not expecting a whole lot of downside, uh, in today's session, but it might tomorrow. So heads up on that. Okay, slash NQs. 20 SMA is a lot deeper here. We have pulled away from the 5 SMA deeper. This is looking more and more like a blow off top. This is the area we should have found resistance and rejected, but instead we went past it for a couple days, and now we're coming back inside. This is a sell zone, not this. This is where you would expect a sell zone in the market, not a buy zone. So let's see if that becomes new support this morning. If we come back out of this, with fever, then I can actually turn this to green because it's proven to be a support zone. Right now, it's not. It's still, technically, in my opinion, a sell zone. So the market's got to tell us otherwise. Okay, so be mindful of that. And it's rejecting like right where it should possibly reject. So, you got your 78.6 fib, and this would be your 78.6, and uh, so we've so basically a move right back down to 78, the 78.6, would be down into this area down here. So let's see how fast, if we can come down back to that 20 SMA. We got last week's volume point of control is right down here. So, that would be given back, you know, uh, going back into equilibrium with last week. Okay, so be mindful of that. Now, three CPRs, below like our CPRs. You know, uh, this one's a little bit different. You notice how yet 2 days in a row the CPR is lined up. So we were showing a little bit more relative weakness yesterday, uh, versus the S&Ps already. So it's giving us a leading indicator, and we're currently trading below. Uh, uh, we're below the central pivot, but we're holding the central pivot low. Okay, so we're currently holding last week's developing central pivot low. So, bottom line is, if you take the lows out, hey, that's signaling a short. Right now it's probably by the dip. So be mindful of that. Uh, you know, in your trading today, we are below the 5 SMA. But there's a lot of reasoning because the Head and Shoulders is already built out here, and if you look down here, uh, you know, that looks like a Head and Shoulders that's already completed or has already completed this morning. Yeah. See, that's targeting right there at that 20 SMA again, and this other range low. So it's targeting this right here, this Head and Shoulders that we've currently playing out here. So I don't know if it's going to play out okay or not to the bullish side or not. Um, but the two biggest stocks out there are below the 5 SMA, and that's Microsoft and Apple. And so be quite mindful of that in your trading today. Okay. So there we go. Let me see if this thing records A okay.